Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Tennis Manager 24. It's episode number 11. We need to catch up on some things because, well, it's been a little while. Maybe not for you, but it certainly has for me. I just went on holiday. This is my first recording since getting back. I really need to get back into the swing of things. I need to get back into where we're at, what's going on in my various series, beginning, of course, with Tennis Manager, where Martina King is coming off of a victory in a J2. She's doing well. She's up to 14th in the junior rankings, but as we know, her form is not quite what it was. It's good, but she hasn't been as consistent because I've tried to compete in some higher level stuff that she's really not ready for. Her ranking is very deceiving for what her actual qualities are. We're consistent in winning lower level stuff, which is getting her the points to get the ranking, but she's not good enough to take on the better juniors at this stage. Hafta, meanwhile, is struggling to find form no matter what I do. Even Montgomery, who is doing well and up to 92nd in the rankings, I still can't get any consistency. And I thought it was coming down to staff, but now it's middle of May, and we have staff to support the three. Each has a coach. Now, they're not great coaches, but it's not making a difference. I'm tweaking their training, micromanaging their training to include specific trainings that develop form, and we're still not getting there. But it's not nothing. They have a little bit of form. I just cannot get them to get anywhere near the consistency that we are getting with King. So we continue with that being the primary objective, especially when, well, there's nothing we can do financially, as we are already into that healthy deficit spending until the end of the year, and we get another board injection and then hopefully another loan to keep us afloat. We did get some development for this year, for the 25 year, with a few, 3, 4 facility upgrades. It was fantastic to have those, and it certainly helped with the finances a little bit, but all that extra staff, a lot of that was offset in hiring that staff. So we're in a pretty similar situation to where we were a year ago. In theory, the coming year, if we can get a similar scenario to what happened with year one, that injection and or loan can then go to further upgrades of the facilities, which will come with financial benefit that I won't have to turn around and spend on staff. We have staff. And one of the things with this staff to start keeping an eye on is, even if it's slow, the progression of not just King, but the other three. We're starting to see a little more development. We've seen, I think it was that last episode, I believe. I know my vacation was lengthy, but I do believe that we had 1 point, one single attribute point gained for one of those other three, and it finally came last time because they were progressing out like 1% a week, and that was only when they weren't competing, and so they were competing most of the time. Well, anyway, now that they're gaining 4 or 5% or 6%, it's happening much faster, and we did finally tick over a year and a half into the game to 1 attribute point gained. Meanwhile, King has done a lot. So our next tournament is 300 level. This is not where we've been competing, right? 200 is where we've been competing. It's where we just claimed a victory, but now 300 is that step above. I've tried it a couple times, and we're back. We're not the top. The number 4 junior is at this tournament. This is not going to be an easy... This is a horrible first draw, right? We are the 6th seed, 15th ranked player, and we're up against the 22nd ranked player in the first round. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that is literally the worst draw for, well, certainly any seeded athlete. Confirmation, by a considerable margin. Of the 8 seeded players, the highest ranked is our 22nd ranked opponent. The second highest ranked is the 42nd ranked opponent. So we have a significantly harder first round match. We have a second round match that's going to include somebody better than the 42nd ranked, barely. Yeah, wow. Okay, well, wish me luck. First time going up against this opponent, it's going to be balanced. We have a chance. And we have a win. In fact, almost comfortable. 6-love for that first set, but 7-6 on a tiebreaker for the second set is much closer. 59% of the overall points won, plus 7 on winners, and a much cleaner match with, forced errors were quite similar, but the unforced errors. Martina did not shoot herself in the foot. Nguyen, Havda, both starting well in their tournaments. Second round against the 41st ranked opponent. We've at least already made it, a little bit here. We're going to get somewhat a decent payout, and there's definitely points involved. 36 for making the round that we've made. We've gone up against Nilsson before, but it is balanced, and again with the slight advantage of we might win this. It was 25, that's this year. Not sure how long ago that was, but it was a round of 32 loss in 3 sets. Will we get revenge? We do. It's 2 tight sets, but both our victories, 6-4, 6-4. It looks like we managed to break her probably once each. No. Actually, we were broke twice, but we broke her 4 times. -9 on winners, but we were the one who played it clean. +13, +8 on the forced errors, and that all led to a slender advantage. Not too slender. 12 points ahead on the total points won. Nguyen out in the round of 16, but Havda has continued on. And now that we're into the quarterfinal, expectations are low at this point, as going up against these higher ranked juniors has been much too hard for us up to this point. Tough match for this one. It's going to require a great performance to get out. And it's exactly what Martina King has delivered. 6-2, 6-3. Ooh, nice. Not a single ace from either. +7 on winners. And +9 on unforced errors. And +4 on total forced errors. We won at every major facet of this one. 6 of 10 on breakpoints converted. A really, really solid performance. Havda out in the quarterfinal. That's a 50 rookie level, or 25, I suppose. Decent payout though, 1,700 for that. 700 for Nguyen, and not a first round exit. Big step there. And the semifinal is the easiest match in terms of rankings that we have had so far. Balanced match, better form. First matchup head-to-head, and it's going to be a finals appearance. We need to check on this one. This might be our first 300 final. Might be our second. I don't think we've won one yet, though. +15 on the winners. And again, keeping it clean. Okay, back in week 8, Sao Paulo, we did get a victory for a 300 level. So we are aiming for our second career 300 level, which would match our highest. We haven't even competed in anything larger besides that Australian Open, where we made a round of 32 exit. We've done over 100 matches now. It is the higher ranked opponent, though, that we are going to face. 13th ranked junior Hikari Yamamoto. We don't know much about her other than it's obvious her technical attributes are well ahead of us, and she has at least decent tactical, but she's pretty low in the fighting spirit. 16-year-old, but she's been pretty consistent with a 63% win rate herself. And with destabilizing play, we're going to be playing similarly to one another. It looks like she is carrying some discomfort in the wrist and is down to 61% for her physical condition, but she does have excellent form and wonderful morale. So she's got those same bonuses we're carrying. We just have an advantage here, but I'm guessing she's got a pretty healthy advantage here. I'd say this is going to be an unlikely win, but certainly not an impossible one. Ooh, yeah, see, we're close enough to actually be balanced, but we are the outsider. Both athletes come in at 16 years of age. Both athletes come in with a very similar record on the year in terms of win-loss percentages. Pretty balanced, but again, I think we are just a hair below. Oh, how did she reach that one? Got the winner though. No idea how she got that before it hit. Before it bounced a second time. And of course, as you know by now, we're playing the long game here. This tournament really doesn't matter much. Oh, nice. There's an ace. Got that first game. we have the advantage here, right? She's definitely fatigued, but not below the 50% yet. It's not going to impact her in these first few games. But then the discomfort will impact her throughout, but it's minor discomfort. But with that being said, this match really does not mean much. We've won a 300 level before. This isn't going to just suddenly unlock that next level of things, though I do think more consistently we need to start doing 300s instead of 200s.
40, 30.
Or maybe a 50-50 balance between them. We've got to try to maintain form, and that's the tricky part about trying to move up. Incredibly long second game, but we end up at that 1-1, and I get broke, dropping us to 1-2. Not a great start to the set, but each game being played is a tight contest. We finally break her, though, to get back to 4-4. And she's going to turn around and break us. No, she does not. We come from behind and claim the game. It's 5-5, 6-5. And we're into the tie break. And she's already into that fatigue now. So the fatigue and the discomfort making up for that little advantage that she has skill-wise over us. But we lose the first 2 points. She's going to serve one more here before it comes back to us. Double fault helps us out a little bit. But at 1-2, we desperately need to win both of these points while we have the serve. And we are on the back foot and don't get to that one. And yeah, it's not looking good for this tiebreaker. That was a must-win point. Trailing 2-3. Now we've got to try to split these 2 points at least. Don't get the first on the second. Trailing 4-2 on this tiebreaker. We're again at the must-win point stage. Thought we had it there momentarily, but she's doing well to reach things. And we do oh, that one touched the line. That was on the outer edge, but it touched the line. Didn't get the call. Again, she's reaching these really hard to get to points. And taking both of those, it's 4-4. And then we go back and lose a point again. Oh, man. That was unforced. That was a really nice finish on that one. Really well-placed ball. Plenty of power on it. And we do lose the opening set, and that's probably going to be the match. I mean, she's 50% of the way there now. And that was quite difficult for us. We are close, but not close enough, it looks like. But this is another set, and we get right back into it with a set victory. A break? Could it be? Yes. Yes, okay. Finish it off. There you go, 4-2.
Game, set, and match.
Oh, she forfeited. She forfeited. Holy crap. Well, we were comfortably ahead in the second set at the moment, so we were certainly on our way to that tie-breaking third set. But a forfeit in the middle of the second set has probably seen that wrist discomfort get a bit more serious. The fatigue was definitely really high at that point, but that forfeit has given us the victory. Not the way you want to take it, not the way you want to see a match end, but it is victory, our second at the 300 level. Payout, a little higher, 3,500. Training report, +2 for fighting spirit and a +1 for composure. At the very least, we need to check our reports, see if there's anything additional. But at the same time, we also managed to get the next point in serve consistency. New areas, right? This is into the technical just a little bit, but there's that big mental boost. And well, it doesn't show up on this one. It will show up down here. We have composure at 11, killer instinct at 10, and fighting spirit at 11. That's good. That is good. I remember years past for Tennis Manager, for a 16-year-old, no way would we have an 11, 10, 11. They've clearly tweaked, or we've been really freaking lucky, but they've clearly tweaked the percentage chance, right, of getting victories at various levels, meaning something. But we've definitely rebuilt the form now for Martina King. She is back on top with excellent form, plus twos and even threes pretty much everywhere now. And yes, we are still very low in this department, but we went from a couple sevens to, we have a few sevens now. I'm beginning to make a dent in this technical side. Wow, that physical is freaking phenomenal, and that mental is getting pretty damn good too. We're making up ground pretty quickly on this side, which is a good way to be consistent, right? If your focus is a 17, your anticipation is a 16. You're going to play well consistently. Montgomery trained this week, and this is what I'm talking about. It's not major, but instead of the 1 to 3% range, we're looking at 3 to 7% range. Having some coaching staff is definitely making a difference, and already we've gone from a single attribute point to now somebody else has picked one up. It's Montgomery this time. I think it was Havda last time. Now we're just waiting on Nagunye, but we are just inching our way. Nagunye, meanwhile, this is that other piece too. Getting the form buffs. I'm working really hard to try to get these form buffs. It is showing up against 7.5% for her serve consistency. She's got a long ways to go yet, but again, gains are gains, and this is so much better than before. So I am encouraged at this point as we go to head into the grass season. I will work on these calendars. I think for King, we're going to see a little bit more in the 300 range for sure. For Nagunye, we're going to keep it right at the bottom. For Havda, we're going to keep it as low as we can at the bottom as well. And then Montgomery, we're going to see if we can get her into a Grand Slam, even if it's through qualifiers. Well, she's in the top 100 now. She should be able to qualify automatically. It's somewhere around like 105, 110. You qualify automatically, so we can get her into these Grand Slams, even if she doesn't perform in them. Those are the biggest paydays for us by far, and will absolutely make a dent that we couldn't make a year ago in the finances. I'm going to try something this week. I've gone in, and the micromanaging, I usually do 1 to 2 sessions for the positive self-talk in particular, because it's not high on injury stress. It doesn't hurt their morale much. It develops focus, sure, and that's why we've seen more focus development from them of late, but it's a double plus on form building. But I do it once or twice. This week, we are going to do, in fact, let's add that one more deviation. So positive self-talk, or the others that do the same thing, like change of pace, movement analysis, a whole week of hammer form. We're doing this for Nagunye. She is currently weak. The morale and the physical condition are high. So let's see what a really aggressive week. Is this because we lack tactical and mental training that I'm not seeing the positive benefits? Could be something along those lines, right? The benefit from this is less. Just like the training development is less, the form gain is minor. I'm wondering if that's the big key. And so instead of going at it in a micromanagement little chip away at it bit by bit, maybe we just need to overload and really get after it. Just for comparison's sake, Montgomery, who is now weak after being mediocre a week ago, has my traditional couple sessions to help build in form. You can see, injury risk is very low, physical condition very high. I'm actually even tempted, let's sneak one more in there. Just the positive self-talk, right? Because you're taking away rest. Okay, well, this has happened this week. Training session, positive self-talk is too often affected to Nagunye. This can impact her morale. They advise us to adjust. It's 1 week. I'm trying something. At the end of the week, a little analysis. For one, we're still weak on form. So triggering something that says form is not necessarily doing it for us. But again, the tactical training, the mental training side for Nagunye is 1-star territory, and that could be impacting it. But at the same time, We got the message about the repetitive nature of it, damaging morale. Morale is just correct right now, so that might have been a factor. Okay, well, mental side. Form is high. She's got +2s to the anticipation, focus, and tactical skills. Giving that heavy focus has given us one aspect of form being good. But her physical side and her technical side is still low. For King, of course, we would train one side and, see the benefit everywhere. We focus so heavily on physical. Recently, we're focusing more on mental, but she's performing well in tournaments, which is giving her excellent form across the board. The others are not performing well. I think maybe through training, I need to start targeting their weak spots where they are struggling in form, train those, and you can build it up through that manner. This is all experimentation and just trying to figure it out. Overloading one area helps that area, but now we need to overload another area. I think we need to diversify where we overload to get those gains bit by bit. So we're going to try to focus on physical now for Nagunye. For Montgomery, see, same thing. We put an extra focus, extra emphasis on mental, and now she's got good mental scores right now. But overall, while she's looking really good across the board, she's still weak. Her physicals could use that boost next. Havda, it's not really happening anywhere, but you can see we're getting at least a kind of cross balance. She's got terrible morale, she's got terrible form, she's not looking good in those departments. But where we did train has a couple of pluses. Next up for us is another 300 level. Now just about the standard tournament more often than not, especially as I've started scheduling ahead in preparation or surrounding something like a Grand Slam, or if we try a senior level tournament, I'll try to couple in some 200s there to balance, offset what's probably an earlier exit to help her maintain form. So I'm trying to, that's the method I'm going with right now when it comes to selecting tournaments for Martina King. Efremova is the number 4 junior, and she is already into the second round. We are a 7 seed this time with some tougher opposition, including Jovic again, who has beaten us, I believe, all 3 times we've gone up against her. She's 29th ranked, and so yet again we're facing one of, if not the hardest draw of the seeded players, but definitely not the hardest this time. We're at least only fourth on that list. If we can, and there's a bye for the number 2 seed. If we can survive this first round, it's looking like one of those kind of tournaments where a wide number of high-ranked players, the seeded players, could get knocked out early just from really difficult draws, not just for us but for others. But we're included on that list. And yeah, 0-4 all time against Jovic. We've only even taken her to 3 sets once. All 4 matches are this year too. This is not last year, it's this year. Balanced. We are balanced with her now, but is it finally a win? It's the first time we've defeated Jovic. A very difficult 3 sets, 53% of points won, identical on the winners. The unforced errors +4, the forced errors +7, that being the difference. Whew. About time. Montgomery also winning her tournament. And is it just me, or is she at the French Open? That's a first round win for Robin Montgomery in the French Open. That's going to be a big payout for her. Yes. Okay, that developing form combined with good morale and physical condition right now. Really good timing for her on that one. Whew, okay. Not getting any easier in the second round. We go from a 29 to a 28 on the opponent. Efremova still going there in the quarterfinals and would be a semifinal matchup for us, but we are down to just 3 other seeded players already. Balanced, slight edge. Our opponent also has the excellent form, though. 2 close sets, but winning both 53% yet again. +1 on the winners. Unforced errors going +3 our way, and total forced errors +4 our way. So just edging out in pretty much all aspects of the match. Montgomery out in the second round, but that's a $51,000 payout. $51,000. That's 31%. She's taking home $100,000 for that second round exit. Thank you, Robin. Thank you. Look at that. We're back inside the $100K deficit range. In fact, look at our month. It's the end of the month here, but we have a neutral month. Neutral. That's all that's offsetting. Neutral. I'll take it. Not complaining. I'm happy. Very happy with that. Still nervous by that, but yeah, we'll take it. I'm the one who picked the hardest start possible, right? We've got to live our reality. Meanwhile, we've qualified for that quarterfinal and have our easiest match yet. Meanwhile, yeah, not looking easy on anything past this round. Balanced, slight edge, even though it's a wild card, lower ranked opponent. They look to be a pretty decent one, and it took us 3 sets after we barely lose that first set. We squeak out the other 2, just 51%, +6 on the points. They ended up playing over 200 of them. Only 2 serve winners versus 11 serve winners. Yikes on that part, but we do just edge out the total winners. The unforced errors was not great, but that's a lot of points played. That is a lot of points played. We were +7. Total forced errors was -6, though. Yeah, that was a tight contest, and now we go up against Efremova, who's probably way too strong for us. And it's an all-seeded semifinal with the 3, 8, 1, and 7 seeds remaining. Everyone ranked in the top 14, and even though we are a spot higher ahead of Sonabe, it's not like we are going to be the favorite here. Remember, our ranking is artificially inflated by doing some lower level tournaments, not really playing to our rank, but playing to our level. And yeah, so Sonabe is probably playing higher level tournaments and just not performing quite as well, but is probably quite a bit better player than King is at this point. So this is probably the end of the road for this tournament, but semifinals are good. They'll help you maintain form. It's okay. Yeah, tough match. It's going to take a great performance. We don't need to see the pain and suffering of a win. Ksenia Efremova goes home and Martina King is into the final. What? How did we manage to do that? 4-6, 6-3, 6-2. 58% of points won, matching the winners. She kept it clean. +17 on the unforced errors, even +6 on the forced errors against a really strong Efremova. End of month report, right? 61K in tournaments. Of course, 51 of that was coming down to the French Open. That's big. Okay, but the other thing that stands out for me is we don't have massive debt. This was up 20-30K at the end of last season. We're at the middle of the year and banking costs is just 3.7K. That is a big step in us getting a balanced checkbook at some point down the road here, right? Especially if we can pull in multiple months like this and keep this at a minimum. Things are looking good. Of course, yes, staff cost went up quite a bit. We brought that up by, 15-16K. Right? That's offsetting compared to that banking cost, right? We added in that debt. But I'm liking with where things are headed right now on the finances compared to last year for sure. And knocking out the 3 seed, the 2 higher seeds are knocked out. The 2 lowest seeded players are gonna play in this final. We've gone head to head once before in a quarterfinal, and we won comfortably in this one, but it is considered to be a tough match. Both players with very good form. It's going to be difficult here in pretty much all aspects, right? She is the better player, so it's going to be hard to beat her. Where we have an advantage, she's already just above that 50% mark, so she is going to lose some accuracy very soon, while King is looking really, really good in that department. She is having absolutely no issues with fatigue in this final. Where she is having issues is that 3 of our 4 areas. The emotion is thrilled. It's a final, right? They're both really excited to be here, but we are carrying the troubled on the relaxation. We're concerned on the motivation, and we were anxious on the confidence. But pre-match talk has made her confident, so we've at least resolved one. But our opponent is also confident and thrilled, just like we are. And where we are having issues with motivation, we're concerned. She's at least indecisive. So we are carrying a bit of a mental block right now, or need to place a mental block on this one right now, as we are not looking too good, feeling the weight of this final for sure. And we have a chance to get broke in the very first game of the first set. Not a good position to be in, but good winner there to get back in this, and another nice winner there. We have advantage. Getting this first game is going to be big, and we do get this first game, so it's a good start. Needed that one. Folks, we know the drill. We've got a long season still ahead of us. It's just one tournament, and we're up 3 games 1. It's a good start, but we've been broke. Serve is not exactly makes you the favorite in this game. So far, a lot of the games won have come down to service breaks. And at 5-3, it's set point. Great start to this final, winning that first set. And as we've already noted, having service does not make you the favorite for a game. We immediately break her on the first game of the second set, and we're up 2 games to 1 early on in this one. Now 3 games to 1. So far, we've managed to hold serve, and 4 games won, 5 games won. I think we're going to be a final victor here. Of course, the advantage being the fatigue side. We had a huge advantage from the very beginning of this match, and it has carried over throughout this match and setting us up for match point. Just getting that on the line. Pushed her over. Oh, and she just misses there. That might have touched the line. I think we got away with one, but somebody wanted to go home. They were done with this tournament. Well, now we are done with this tournament too, with a victory. Back-to-back 300 level tournament victories. Looks like we are good enough to stay put in 300 levels. We've beat some pretty good juniors in these last couple of tournaments. Okay, folks, we did make some progress. Nagunye, she had a qualifier for a rookie, lowest level rookie tournament. She won the first. She lost the second, so she didn't qualify for the tournament proper. Still not helping her out with ranking points that way. But her form is now average. So we did open the floodgates to build some form so she can stop being so freaking negative all the time. The mental side is definitely good. Physical side is getting there, and it's still balanced, isn't it? It's still balanced. But the mental side has picked up. I don't know. Maybe we're finally on to something. King, of course, doing great. Well, folks, we've only pushed into June. But we've been watching really closely, just trying to figure out where this form could come from. And it seems like we have made a dent into that department. But it's pretty clear that you can't just narrow that focus into a single area. You've got to do it into other areas. But it seems that spreading yourself thin and doing kind of generic training with weak staff and weak facilities does not work. You've got to have some dedicated focus, hyper focus, go at it hard, but then you've got to move from realm to realm to get that, from area to from different types of training sets to make that happen. Hyper focused, aggressive is the way to go. Okay, well, we're making progress though, folks, and that 51K absolutely helped. But of course, now that it's 2nd of June and we've had another month's expenses, we're right back where we were. But it's still way less dead than this time a year ago, I believe. So I'm happy. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.